right, welcome back to Dolphins United, the platform for Dolphins. You heard me. I am with my guy, the touchdown with Doug Smith. All right, we've been rocking for a while now. Probably about what, a year and a half, something like that.
Yeah, man. Year and a half,
Some
2 years, man. We've been
2
we've been
years,
at it,
something like
bro.
that, man. Yeah,
I'm back
man.
home. I'm at the crib, man. I'm happy to be here,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate having you on. If
Yes,
y'all don't know
man.
this, man, first of all, I told y'all to go watch his videos. All right, so I hope y'all did that for one. All right, but if you don't know this man, he doesn't just cover the Dolphins, he covers all the teams. He gives you the news. He talks to these future stars that will be in the NFL. He talks to them. Almost 40 videos this year so far of him interviewing future draft prospects and a future NFL stars. Go check those videos out. Get to know it, not just for the Dolphins now. Get to know some of your future stars on your teams because guaranteed somebody on your team is probably talking to Doug Smith. All right. Go holler at that man. But we about to get into it. We about to go ahead and do a preview of the Miami Dolphins. Just talk some draft stuff, get some perspective, and then just see what the Dolphins plan on doing come Friday, because we already know Thursday it ain't looking too good for us. All right, we don't have a pick. We might get one. We'll
You got
talk
in
about
trouble.
that a little bit too. We'll see if it makes sense to trade up. But wanted to go ahead and shout out my guy, man, and I appreciate having you on, of course. And let's get into it, man. Let's get into it.
Man.
Well, before we get into it, if you have anything you want to say, you can go ahead.
Oh man.
And then we can get
Thank you for
into it.
bringing me back on the show, bro. I love collaborating with you. And this is like our fourth time working together or something like that, third or fourth. And but we've even met each other in person, man. So we done broke bread at church, man. So man, my brother in Christ, man, and my Dolphins brother too, man. Let's get it. If y'all want to check me out, I'm on YouTube. I'm on all platforms, but check me on YouTube for the interviews. It's called The Touchdown with Doug Smith. I think, gosh, I want like over 40 NFL pre-draft prospects this upcoming NFL draft this week, man. So we've had it's a nice mix in there. I try to mix it up. So we got the big guys in there, right? We got Jackson Kirkland, you know what I mean, who's going to be gone by the end of second round, right? We've had Eric Gray, who will be gone by second or third round. Trey Tucker, with Kendre Miller from TCU. Got big school guys, big names, Andre Yosivas, so forth. A lot of big names, but then we have guys from HBCUs on the show. We have a good mix in there. We have guys from 1AA schools, and these guys, they dominated where they were at, man. And people forget the NFL is made up at least 20 to 22% statistically is of UDFAs and guys who made the roster, right? So, and sometimes them guys in day 3 of the draft and UDFAs play better than the guys on round 1 and 2, right? So, yeah, got a lot of big names. Touchdown with Doug Smith. Go check it out, man.
Yeah, and you know what they say, and it sounds cliche, but it's the truth. It doesn't matter what school you go to, because if you're a baller, they will find you. You don't have to go to a Power 5 school. They are going to find you if you are a baller. And that's just, you look at the Hall of Fame, you see guys from every division. It happens all the time. They'll find you, all right? So, and Doug's going to find you too. You know, if you're a baller, he's going to find you. You're going to end up on the channel, all right? And that's another thing. But let's go ahead and get into it. The Dolphins don't have a first-round pick.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean we can't make moves to go up into the first round. So let's go ahead and start with that. Doug, do you think it makes sense to move up in the first round? And if it makes sense to move up, what type of guy would you move up for?
Yeah, man. I feel like the top 2, 3, right? Because I'm gonna say right tackle. Right tackle, in my humble opinion, would be that we need to take care of that. Oh, we got all the receivers. It's great. Oh, we got the running backs. It's fantastic. And it means nothing if you're not blocking for Tua, man. So we gotta protect him. We gotta protect our guy. I don't want to turn to the episode on if Tua's a guy or is not the guy. There's enough content out there at all. But whoever's our quarterback, I'm gonna support him, right? Regardless of who the quarterback is, we gotta have a line that blocks, right? We can't have this super injury prone We can't put band-aids on gunshots. And that's what happens to the Miami Dolphins O-line last year, right? So who better than to take a right tackle in the second round? In my humble opinion, I don't think we should trade up because that could hurt us next year. I feel like we should really just take and stay put. And I will say this year's draft for these two positions, both running back and also as well O-line, it is so deep. This is probably the deepest draft in those positions, one of two probably in the last decade. We're going to get somebody. We're going to get, there's going to be guys who are great O-linemen in rounds 4 and 5 and potentially you could slide even further, right? And guys you take a risk on, right? But what I will say, if we end up taking and sticking around where we're at, we just stay put. There's a name. He's considered a top 5. PFF has him as the number 5 best. He plays right guard and tackle, but he's played the game at tackle as well too. So kind of 50-50. He goes by the name of Jackson Kirkland from University of Washington. He played for the Huskies. This guy, he can take on double teams. If somebody goes down at guard, he could go play guard. He could play center. He plays all throughout the line. And he's 6'7". Oh, man. He's not like some flobby dude out there who's going to get pushed around. This dude is buff. Right. And he did great at his pro day. He did fantastic. He's very agile. I have a hard time when I watch his tape. I have a very hard time, like, finding issues with his game. You know what I mean? Like, he's great on the run block. He's great on the pass block. And he's, most importantly, he is a day one starter. That's the guy that I want to take and see. And then if we could talk round 3 real quick, man. If he's still there, there's a few guards I want to talk about because we need a right tackle and we need a left guard, O-line complete. And it's also important that when somebody goes down, we can move people around. I think that's something, versatility is important. I know people used to clown Coach Flo like, man, you're drafting people who could play 4 different positions, man. You know, why can't they just be good at where they're at, you know? But when it comes O-line and our depth did get better. I can't say it did not, but we want people to be good at where they're at, right? But could also be versatile. Very good on the O-line. But Cody Mock out of North Dakota. Man, this guy, North Dakota State, excuse me.
Yeah.
Have you seen him? He's missing his 2 front teeth.
Yes.
Yeah, he looks like he
that's
wants
my
to
type of guy. Yeah, that's my type of guy right there. That's what you want. When I picture an offensive lineman with those long red locks, that's the type of guy I'm looking for right there.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah, it looks like he throws buckets of, not the stereotype, it looks like those buckets of hay for fun. But he seemed like a really nice guy. He just probably can't whistle, you know. That guy, watching him at his Reese's, if you get a chance, Cody Mock, Mauch, check him out. His Reese's Pro Day. I watched the Reese's Senior Bowl. I meant to say he went off. He did amazing. Again, also a day one starter. Another guy who can also take and start at left guard we got to take and consider is Jerome Carvin. Now, I've interviewed Jackson Kirkland. I know him personally. Actually, I literally just spoke to him like 2 days ago, man. So we interviewed over a month ago. So staying in touch with them, man. But Jerome Carvin did not give up one single sack when blocking for Hendon Hooker when he played for University of Tennessee. Volunteers, not one sack. He had 2 hurries and 1 quarterback hit the whole year. Now we know Tennessee, they went up against Alabama, they went up against a lot of head busters this year. Michigan had a good D, man, and they handled that. Jerome Carvin is that guy, man. He's very jolly, very happy. Comes from a good family, comes from a military background. As a matter of fact, he was born in Guam, but raised in Memphis, Tennessee. But yeah, he's been training. I want to say he's been training in South Florida, so that makes me be very curious. Like, hey, is this guy going to be a Miami Dolphin? Dolphins are interviewing a lot of people, but that's a guy who, I personally definitely like. And then let's talk round 6. Now, I misspoke earlier. I said this is the deepest running back draft, O-line draft. I meant to say tight end as well too. There's a lot of tight ends in this. There's Sam Laporta. There's second round people looking like the Darnell Washingtons, Dalton Kincaid and stuff. Like those are like the upper echelon guys, and they look like ballers, man. I see those guys, they're athletic, they're big, and they can block. There's a name, and I know him personally, and I also know that he did have an interview with the Miami Dolphins at the University of Oklahoma, Braden Willis. Now, when I interviewed him, I asked him a question. He goes, I was like, what's your style of play? What's a tight end that you perhaps model your game after? Braden Willis takes and says, man, if you ain't trying to beat Travis Kelce, what are you doing? I'm like, man, come to the Dolphins, my man. So I talked to him afterwards, and he said that'd be a location he'd love to be at. He has also interviewed with them, and the interview went really well. Again, Dolphins interview with tons of people, so just because I say the interview, that doesn't mean they're going to.
Right.
You know, but that's a guy with how deep the tight end room is. He very well could be available. He's light-skinned Travis Kelce, essentially, man. He's elusive and he could block. He's only 245 pounds. He's 6'4", but the guy, he gets separation when running down the field. That's something that Mike Gesicki also got. But what he has that Gesicki didn't have is this guy can block. B-L-O-C-K. That's right, I said it. He can block. I love Durham Smythe, but he doesn't get a whole lot of separation. He has hands on. I think Durham Smythe, he had a few nice plays this year, I will say. But I think we need like a true receiver guy, and we could just kind of use him how we need to, how it ultimately benefits the scheme, essentially, right? And then if I had to choose somebody for round 7, man, you know, they always say, you know, round 6 and 7, those are your experimental guys, but
right, throwaway picks.
Yeah, those are throwaway picks. And when I say about Braden Willis, I'm not saying he's a throwaway pick. I predict him going between rounds 5 and 6. He'll be gone by the mid round 6, essentially, right? But if I had to take and say, I would say running back, right? I would say, hey, running back, but with how things are going with Dalvin Cook, man, I don't know, Dave. What are your thoughts on that, man?
If you can get Dalvin Cook, go get him, right?
Yeah.
And it can't cost you too much.
Yeah,
it's not something that you're gonna go break the bank for. I'm not doing that. Like,
no, I feel you. I agree.
Yeah, I'll give you a second, maybe for him, but that's the absolute most. And really, a second is a little high for a running back.
Super high, yeah.
That probably has
so many running backs in
years
draft,
left on his life. You know, right?
Yeah.
And that's another thing. If Gibbs is available at 51, I'm thinking about it. Now, I know we have better things we could do with the pick.
Yeah.
But he's such a beast that I'm really thinking about getting Gibbs from Alabama if I have a chance. But when it comes to running back, you can probably get one later on in this scheme and still be okay. So, you know, I'd be cool with that as well. Do you have anybody in mind in the later rounds?
Ooh, great question, and I'm glad you asked. Check out a guy from McNeese State. He had 1,600 all-purpose yards. Deontay McMahon. Know him personally, friend of the show. Deontay, he's from Polk County. He's always shouting out, you know, Polk County. But, man, he is, just when you thought it didn't get crazy in Polk County, watch what this man produces on the field. This guy, he's essentially Alvin Kamara 2.0.
Okay. Yes, sir.
And I know he had now I don't know if he would go to the Dolphins, but he did have a training day, a pro day with the New Orleans Saints. So I'd hope that he would land in our hands, especially since he's from Florida. And I know that it's my understanding that the Dolphin scouts have been getting busy. They have interviewed running backs, tight ends, and especially O linemen, man. So you know, now there's that's a guy I think we definitely need to keep an eye out from. Another guy I also want to take and talk about, and if he's there, I say go for him in round 6, actually. But if we're saying round 7, if he's there, grab him. Kendre Miller. Now, Kendre Miller, if you see his run, he's the reason TCU won most of those games. Kendre Miller put the team on his back. Now, they got the brakes beat off of them in the national championship. We saw it happen. Kendre Miller didn't play. I'm not saying if he would have played, would have won, but he did. He is coming off of a slight ACL tear. He's expected to be ready for training camp at least by week 1. This guy is LeGarrette Blount. Remember LeGarrette Blount?
That's what we need. We got speed. We need power.
And this guy, he is the man. Another guy we also need to watch, again, friend of the show, Mohamed Ibrahim. Mohamed is the all-time leading rusher for the University of Minnesota Golden Gophers. I remember I was watching a game. It was University of Illinois, I think it was. Dude, Mohamed doesn't have super breakaway speed, I will say. I think he ran like a 4.6 at the 40. But we know tons of people who work out really well, and they don't necessarily work out in the NFL. You watch the tape, there's no way in heck that this guy is not going to transition well into NFL. Muhammad. Oh, and on top of that, did I mention, David, before this last year, he had a season-ending injury where he tore his ACL, came back, broke the school record. Man, he's Adrian Peterson, man. He's Adrian Peterson with locks, man. He's that guy, man. So Muhammad Ibrahim goes by nickname Mosquito because you can't get rid of him. That's what he told me. So that's a guy to watch. Again, LeGarrette Blount type runners, man. Kendre Miller. I love Gibbs. Gibbs is dope. But I'm like, man, running games means nothing if we don't have nobody to block, man. And I feel like we do a really good job of bringing UDFAs every year, and we're getting better at that as a team. Not the best, but I would say we're probably middle of the pack, maybe top 13, top 12 at that, if I had to say. But man, I feel like we should get right tackle, then boom, left guard, and then I mean, you and I were talking before we started recording, man. I would love if we trade back a round 2. We could trade back.
I would love it too.
Round 2 and get a round 3 and a 4, and that will leave us with 2 3s, a 4, and a 6 and 7. Oh, I'm a happy camper, man. That'd be great. And there's still going to be there's still good tackles that we could take. We could get the tackle out of University of Maryland, they're saying he's a round 3-4 guy. I mean, there's people who are going to slide that could be day 1 starters. There's so many good talent in this year's draft. But yeah, sorry to ramble on. I could talk running backs all day.
No. I mean, that's what we're here for.
That's
what we're here for.
And there's a guy also as well, University of North Dakota, Tyler Hoosman, friend of the show. This guy, very good. I think he only had like around 1,100 yards, but you watch the tape again, LeGarrette Blount, man. And I love the elusive guys. I love the Alvin Kamara type dudes who really just do it all. But I got it. And there's speed. There's a lot of speed in this year's draft. There's a lot of guys. But I will say, man, if we get somebody who's a LeGarrette Blount type runner, Marshawn Lynch type runner, when it's 4th and 1, when it's 3rd and 3, and they need to get those tough yards, man, and our O-line isn't holding up the end of the bargain, dang it, they're going to make it happen. So those are a few names I like for round 7 if we go running back.
All right. Now, we haven't talked much not running back, middle linebacker.
Ooh,
what do you feel, how do you feel, I should say, about our depth at that position already on the team?
Yeah, I like where we're at. It's better than it's been in years. I remember, don't quote me on this, I think it was 3 years ago, we were just kind of like, that was the year we had like Raekwon McMillan and Jerome Baker and stuff. I feel like Jerome Baker stays getting burnt in coverage.
Me too.
We need a hybrid, bro. We need somebody who will go out there and go guard these guys. A guy that's expected to be there in round 3, though he did do extremely well at the combine. He did very well. A guy worth mentioning is Shaka Hayward out of Duke.
Okay.
Shaka Hayward, his pursuit, and he said that was a part of his game he had to work on. But you watch the tape, it's like, what are you talking about? Like, he's doing very good. I'm not saying he's going to guard somebody who has the speed of a Tyreek Hill, you know what I mean? But for guys who are around 4 or 5, like he'll be in the vicinity, you know what I mean? At least hold down people within 15 yards. Shaka Hayward can do that. He is a sideline to sideline linebacker. He's also related to the Hayward family. I think they got 2 players who are over on the Steelers. Also as well, I want to say Shaka did have an interview with the Dolphins as well too, that I know of. That's a guy that I like a lot. This isn't a super deep linebacker draft. It's not. But there's a lot of guys who are edge rusher who are on the smaller end who are looking at playing linebacker. There's a guy I want to mention, Montero Anderson. He's potentially the best D lineman. He's coming from HBCU, Texas Southern, and he plays edge rusher and he plays linebacker. And he's had more sacks than any other player since Michael Strahan played there.
Wow.
And that's a guy, he finished number 1 in the cone drills. Man, that's a guy, Montero Anderson. Check him out. His tape does not lie. You go on ESPN, what was annoying about him, not to go off topic, but it shows 18 sacks, but the 18 sacks is video, but then ESPN reported like 5 or 6 sacks, which is 100% inaccurate. So they're reporting the stats on some of these HBCUs is 100% inaccurate. I just want to throw that in there. But that's a guy who's a diamond in the rough. He'll probably be a UDFA if I'm just being honest with you. But he did have an interview with the Dolphins. I always ask this at the end of the interview. I don't do it during my interview, but hey, did you interview with Miami? So, he's like, yeah, man, that's one of the better interviews I had. I'm like, all right, cool. But But yeah, as far as day 3 goes, man, I don't see a whole lot of a whole lot of really good linebackers that could be sliding this kind of project guys. Not that they can't be good, but it's gonna take some development for sure.
All right, that's cool. Um, let's go back to the second round real quick here.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, Cody is there.
Mhm.
Let's say, for example, Laporta is there.
Oh,
He's
yeah, he's
available.
good, man.
Gibbs is there, and some of your other favorite guys, right?
Mhm.
What would you prioritize? Like, are you thinking we should get the tight end now? We should get
Yeah.
the tackle now, or we should go ahead and get a running back now for like a Gibbs or a Zach is there at running back, one of those
Mhm.
type of guys. Like, what are you prioritizing? I'll give my answer on that as well.
Yeah, man. I was on shout out to a Miami Sports News. I was on the show. I use this line. I was like, a lot of guys that go for the Kim Kardashians, but they don't go for the housewife. you know, and it don't work out. They're just like, oh man, I want the shiny toy. It's gonna work, and it's not gonna be loyal to you. And what I mean by that is like you got to take care of the house first. As much as I cannot stand the Dallas Cowboys, one thing they've done very well, they got the non-flashy players for a long time. And historically, even though they've been trash the last 30 years, man, they've had good O-line almost every single year. And it's because they prioritize that O-line. The New England Patriots prioritize that O-line. Pittsburgh Steelers, they prioritize that O-line. It's
I
good
think
for the
I kind of
running
know where
game.
you're going here.
Oh yeah, right tackle. We got to go right tackle, man. Sorry to ramble. I know it's a loaded
No,
answer.
no, 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 that's
But,
fine. That's fine.
yeah, that
But the
that
way
that
you
would
kept saying
be
it, I said, "Oh, well, I think he's heading on the line."
yeah, and it's frustrating, man, because like as a fan, I'm like, man, if we had our first round pick, you know what I mean, we could get the best player off the board, man, and I'm always for that, right? But at the same time, man, we gotta take care of what's most important. We don't want Tua with another situation. Tua goes
Can't
down.
have it.
Who in the heck is going to start a quarterback, man? I'm not excited about Mike White. I'm not excited about the other guy. We gotta protect Tua this year, man. We protect him, man. He's healthy. Can he stay healthy? That's another question for another episode, another day. I don't want to go on a rant here, but yeah, we got to get a right tackle, and then even if we want to do something in the third round at running back or
Tight end.
okay, let's at least get a right tackle and keep a rotation of guys a left guard if they're not performing how they're supposed to.
All right. I'm in agreement with you.
Mhm.
Once again, Gibbs, that's the sexy pick, right?
Yeah.
That's to me. If he's there, it's like okay, But I mean, he is small. He's
Yeah.
5'8", but he a beast out of the backfield when it comes to receiving, and that's where I really like him because
Mhm.
he would make us more dynamic there.
Yeah.
Running game, he's going to offer about the same thing Mostert offered last year, so I'm not
Yeah.
too worried about that. So with that being said, to me, it would be between getting that tight end or getting that tackle. And if Cody is there, I don't know exactly where he falls. He might fall in the 2 to 3 range. You may be able to get him lower, or he might, because when it
Mhm.
comes to tackles, it's just about who
Yeah.
you like. So somebody in the first round might say, you know what, we're sold on this guy. We're not waiting, and we're going to go ahead and take him. If
Happened
you're
with the
sold
Patriots
on
last year.
Cody at 51, exactly.
Yeah.
If you're sold on him at 51, take him at 51, even if you know you could get him in the third round. Laporta, I believe you can get him later.
Yeah.
For sure. I think he might be there in the third round unless there's a crazy run on tight ends. But I would definitely take the tackle. Let's solidify that side. I know you have Austin Jackson there. I don't care. Go ahead and get Cody. Let them duke it out, and whoever will be the backup, you got good depth. Either way you look at it, you got good depth there, and then we'll let that play out. But I would definitely pick him up. Now I know we are recording this on a Monday. The Dolphins did bring in a tight end to work out. I mean, not a tight end, an offensive lineman, a right tackle to work out that played with Denver last year. So they are looking at a couple guys in free agency as well.
I
But
like it.
if that doesn't work out, then you could also go in the draft, grab a guy, and then let them duke it out, and then we'll see what we got. But We gotta sure that up because once
Yeah,
again, like you said, if Tua is not there for the whole season, then the season is null and void. Like there's no reason why the Dolphins can't go deep into the playoffs if they keep Tua healthy, right?
yeah,
And it's the worst thing to have to say is a bunch of ifs, but it's really what it's about, keeping Tua healthy. And if we cannot do that, then we failed him
yeah,
because there's no reason why Austin Jackson should be starting at right tackle without competition. Like
yeah.
it just shouldn't happen.
No one should feel safe, man.
Yeah.
No one should feel safe, man. If you're a guard, keep your head on a swivel. If you're a tackle, if you're well, not left tackle, Armstead got that. But if you're a right tackle, man, your head should be on a swivel. And I think we should get 2 tackles, one in free agency and or UDFA, and then also draft a tackle as well too, man, because somebody's gonna get injured. Armstead likely, I hate to say it, he's probably gonna get banged up again. Can this guy play right tackle? Can he play left tackle? Right. So we need that. We need that depth. I want to say you did an episode on this about Ross. We had 2 years to win the championship, right? Super Bowl, like win it, not just visit. Oh, hey, we made it. Don't pull Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs last year. We're just happy to be here, man.
Right.
No, we need to win a Super Bowl. People are gonna get fired. People are gonna lose their job. People are gonna get traded. It's gonna be a nightmare if we don't win a Super Bowl this year or next year. That's what it is. Don't leave nothing to chance. Tackle all day.
Yep. Take the tackle, please. Now, I know you talk to a lot of these prospects. I don't want to really put you too much on the spot, but are there any, not necessarily that you talk to, because all of those guys are great, but are there any players that you wouldn't want the Dolphins to get, whether at tackle, at linebacker, at tight end, that you're like, I looked at his tape and he just doesn't fit our scheme?
I'm going to say the running back from UCLA. He's I know that wasn't one of the positions you said, but I want to talk about him. Is that his running style? He stands straight up, and he almost never goes right up the middle. Man, he's a 5 gap. Yeah, he's a 5 gap, 6 gap running back. Essentially, he hits the edge and he just stands up and just starts sprinting to the edge. Right, that's a guy. I'm like, man, no, man, I'm good. As far as like tackles and stuff go, man, I would say outside of the 4th round, I can't think of any names offhand that were like, hey, let's just stay away from. But I would say the Reese Senior Bowl, man, that is a tape where you watch the one-on-one drills, you watch that, and it's, man, you're going against the cream of the crop, man. And if you ain't dominating in your one-on-ones, I'd tell people just type in OLINE drills, Senior Bowl, YouTube. Check that out. And you'll be able to see people who got dominated. You'll be able to see people who, now there's a guy I would like us to avoid, though. I would love him, and that's Voorhees coming out of USC. He unfortunately tore his ACL during the NFL Combine. But the guy, he had number 1 for most reps on the bench, right? But that's guy I want us to avoid. Not because he's a bad player. It's just he got injured, and we need people to start right now, man. We need to hit on at least 2 of these picks in the draft. So, yeah, I would say that would be something. Also, as well, I would watch out for guys who are not hybrid linebackers. I feel like while it's great to have the downhill guy, and oh man, when he was in college, he had 10 sacks. That's great. But not very good at guarding. I'll keep it real with you. Like, there's a guy, area of opportunity, and I know him personally. He's gonna be in the CFL, but the guy in Mississippi Valley State. Trying to find his name here, but it was a guy who I took and I interviewed, and he ended up, Ronnie Thomas. Here it is. He had 10.5 sacks, broke the Mississippi Valley State record. He's gonna be in the Ottawa Red Blacks is the name of the team, but probably going to NFL after that. My thing with him is like, hey, great downhill blitzer, but not necessarily the best at guarding the receivers. You know what I mean? And that's something that if you can't do that, if I didn't see that on your one-on-one drills and those highlights for the Reese's Bowl, man, I don't want the Dolphins to pick you up. So yeah.
Got you. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and give the person that I don't want to see the Dolphins pick up. But before I do that, I know some of the viewers might be saying we might have forgot about David Long. I have not forgotten about David Long.
Oh, I love David Long.
We understand that he's on the team. I'm looking for more depth, okay? Because I believe he's going to be a beast.
Yeah.
I'm looking for depth behind him because I don't think Baker could do the job. We haven't forgotten about David Long. We know he's there, and he's
Yeah.
going to be a beast for us this year,
Mhm.
assuming he can stay healthy. All right,
Yeah.
I wanted to put that out there. Now,
Mhm.
when it comes to a guy that I looked at his tape and I was just turned off right away,
Yeah.
and I thought I was gonna like him, but because he was a
Mhm.
name that they kept throwing out, yeah, I think his name is Luke Musgrave, the tight end,
Oh,
or
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
He's Gasicki.
Yeah.
Okay, when you look at him, I don't know how well he blocks.
Uh-huh.
It didn't look like he was that great a blocker, but when you really look at the tape, like
Mhm.
there's no wiggle to him. And when it comes to tight end, nowadays you have to have a little wiggle. You have to be a guy that can move in space. And
Mhm.
he is not one of those guys. He might be a good straight line guy. I think he ran like a 4.61. Good straight line speed, good little burst. But when it comes to shaking a guy down and getting in and out of routes and cuts and things like that, he cannot do it.
Yeah.
Very stiff hipped. And
Yeah.
I'm done with that type of tight end, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. That's why I like Laporta, and there was another guy I liked. I cannot remember his name right now, but these guys move. I think it. No, the name almost came. Maybe it was Kuntz or something like that.
Oh,
Cuntz, I think his last
yeah.
name was. He
Kuntz,
moved
yeah.
pretty well. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kuntz. Yeah, he
Yeah.
moved pretty well as well. Though, but those are the two guys I like because of the way they move after they have the ball in their hands.
Yeah.
The Gasicki type guys, I can't do them because they don't give you any yak whatsoever. If it's not a
Yeah.
straight line, then they're not going to give you much. So I'm
Yeah. He's
I'm
easy to
done with those
tackle,
type of
Gasecki,
guys.
too, man. Very easy to
Yeah,
tackle.
very easy. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I noticed, and that's something like, again, he can make the crazy Randy Moss type throws. I love it, man. I'm not knocking that. I think he had a higher jump than Odell Beckham at the combine. I'm talking about Gasecki. You know, that's great. He was faster. They said statistically he was faster than AJ Brown at the combine. Love it. He could not block, man. You know what I mean? I think that's the issue. A guy I want to talk about. All right, there's another guy. Now we interviewed this guy like in person. This footage of this Brenton Strange, tight end from Penn State.
okay.
I watched this. He's another Durham Smythe. He could block though. He could block, but I want a guy who gets separation and catch like a Braden Willis. You know what I mean? A guy who's like, again, everybody's looking at all these guys, man. But if he's there for round 6, man, that's my jackpot tight end pick for this year's draft, man. Is Braden Willis out of Oklahoma. A lot of guys are not talking about him. Some people they have Braden Willis on like ranked in number 9 or 10 out of the tight ends, man. And that's mad to me. This guy's wiry, he's rangy. He could do the 2 steps in the corner of the end zone. He's basically a big receiver, again, who can block, man. And he's elusive, man. I literally see Travis Kelce when I watch him play. But yeah, if it's somebody who's just like identical to what we already have, why waste a draft pick on that? You know what I mean? So, yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'm definitely going to be looking him up.
Yeah.
Right after, because I'm looking for tight ends that catch my eye. So I'll be looking his film up and then checking him out, checking it. And when I say film, I mean on YouTube, guys. Like I'm gonna go on YouTube and watch his highlights and watch stuff like that.
Can I add one
But
more thing
yeah,
too? They
yes.
have him in trick plays doing jet sweeps. They have this guy
Ooh.
throwing touchdowns. Like, it's mad to me that he's not in the top 3 convert. It should be Darnell Washington, Dalton Kincaid, and it should be Braden Willis. It's mad to me. And then he led the team in receiving touchdowns on top of that, man. He's a major end zone
Oh
target.
yeah.
Man.
At what? At Oklahoma?
Yes, sir. Yep. The OU Sooners. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if he led the team in touchdowns there, then because they've got talent at wide receiver. It's not like they don't. So wow, I gotta really look this guy up. And you say he could block. I'm
He could
assuming
block.
he could block.
Yeah, he could block. I think they ranked him at an 80%. B minus. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Nothing less than that, but he can block.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's really good. All right, here's the last thing that we want to go ahead and talk about is draft philosophy. I would like to get your take on this because I'm pretty sure you've done a few mock drafts.
Yeah.
I've done a few mock drafts myself, and I'm torn between best player available and drafting for need. All right. So I want to get your take on that, and then also let me know what you feel the Dolphins should do come Friday Saturday.
Yeah, it has to be. We got to be conservative. We can't be super flashy. I don't think we should trade up at all whatsoever. We've done that a lot in the past, man. Like, oh yeah, we'll trade away a 6th-round pick so we can get an additional 7th-round pick, and that will follow up the next year and the next year. I know as Coach Brian Flores did that a few times. I think we need to, in my opinion, I feel like we should take that 2nd-round pick and trade back. If we can get 2 more draft picks, man. Again, I don't want to leave nothing to chance, man. Let's get, who says we can't get 2 tackles in this year's draft and a left guard, and then we could try for a tight end and stuff later, right? We could get another edge guy who could play linebacker later, right? You can't have it all, right? I don't think it's hard to think of like a perfect team. Even at one point in time, the Chiefs weren't looking so hot last year and they won the championship, right? You can't have it all. But what I'm saying is, like, if we take our 2nd-round pick and we trade back to the end of second, we swap with the team who wants to take and get in there, get another good guy. And let's say we get 2 or 3 3rd-round picks, or maybe we trade our 2nd for a 3rd and a 4th. Man, or we traded for a 3rd, a 5th, and we also get our 6th and 7th, and it gets us at least 2 more picks in that midday range. What? Come on now. It just makes sense to me. But yeah, definitely I do not believe in getting the best player available. Other drafts I would have said yes, but in this year's draft, absolutely not. I think it'd be a massive mistake.
Got you. So you're more of a go for need. If we need a tackle, whatever's there at tackle at your pick, get that.
Yeah.
All right. Then I respect that.
And if I could add in one thing, I do see a trade happening with the former Dallas Cowboys receiver. Cedric Wilson is his name?
Cedric Wilson? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got to go. He got to bounce, man. That's a guy where I'm just like, man, that dude, I did not like what I was saying. I think he balled out like the last game, kind of, sort of. Like he was like non-existent. That was a waste of $11 million, man. So you got to go.
Right. I'll say this before we close, and then I'll give my answer as well. I did a mock draft with trades. And I usually don't do trades, but I just wanted to see, what was out there. Got to the 6th round, and little did I know, the Vikings offered me 2 picks for my pick, which was like way, way higher up. I mean, way lower down than the 2 that they were going to give me, and Noah Igbenogany. I hit that button so fast. Like, I'm like, yo, I will take this trade. I don't care if I'm getting gypped or what. If you're going to take Noah Igbenogany, I will take whatever you give me back. Like, it was crazy. Like, as soon as I saw that, I said, yes, deal. Like,
boom.
Boom. Get him on out of here, and I get 2 picks. I can make do with that. And I think I might have picked up like a corner in the 7th round or something with that. But that's the type of thing that can happen. You just never know. Like a Noah Igbenogany, a Cedric Wilson, these guys, they could end up getting traded for later round picks. And it's almost the same thing. Like if I was betting on that guy and it didn't work out, I'll just bet on another guy. And what if it works out? You just never know. You never know. But to answer the question that I asked you myself, my philosophy normally is not best player available, is position. I like to draft for a position. If we need this, I want to make sure I got that. That's how I always was in Madden. Like if I need a tackle, I'm going to get a tackle. I don't care what else is available. But there are times where you have to go best player available. This is not the draft for that. So I'm in full agreement with you. This draft is not the draft to go best player available. Go get tackles, tight ends, if they're available, and whatever else. Linebacker, whatever else. Depth. We need depth. Yeah. At tackle, we don't need depth. We need a starter. Go get that. And then everything else, depth, but position of need, not best player available. And then, we're good to go. We could try to go get a Super Bowl if we can fortify that offensive line.
That's true. I love it. Hey, man. We need to go out for that coaching staff and be in that draft room, man.
We'll talk, man. Banging on the table for these guys that we're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. It's so many tackles, man. There's a Bergeron from Syracuse. That's a guy to watch out for. There's a guy named Jalen Duncan. Again, right tackle out of Maryland. There's so many guys going to be there in round 2, round 3 that are hanging out there. Jackson Kirkland, he'll be gone by round 2 for sure. He'll be out of there. But like, there's a lot of good guys like just to take and watch out there, man, who are just, dude. And there'll be people who slide out of the first round too, man. Will they slide to us? It's a possibility, right? Also, we got to watch the Commanders are 2 picks ahead of us in the second round of the draft, right? That's a team that needs a tackle as well too. So I'm like, dang. But again, I think we're gonna be fine. A lot of people have a lot of needs, and it's not O-line. We need it. I think we're gonna get some really good players, man.
Man, I'll say this. Usually I would want a well-rounded tackle. But if you give me at this point, I'm so desperate. If you give me a tackle that can only pass block, can't run block a lick, I'll take it. As long as we can keep Tua upright, I'm cool with that. If he's going to be a liability in the run game, run it left. All right, just switch it, run it left. Run it right behind Teron Armstead, and we'll be fine. All right, just don't run it to that other side. But if you can keep Tua's blind side intact, then that's all I care about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's all I care about.
Absolutely, man. We got to win a Super Bowl, man. It has to happen. I'm 34 years old. I ain't getting no younger, man. Bring one home, man. Bring one home to 305, man. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate having you on, man. I don't know if you have any last words that you want to say regarding the draft or anything else, but I'll leave the floor to you real quick.
Oh, man, I appreciate it. First and foremost, thank you for coming on the show. Man, be sure to subscribe to my guy, man, over here, man, Dolphins United, before you even sub to my stuff, man. Man, you're truly a gem in the Dolphins community, man. I just want to give you your flowers, man. You do so much great content, man, original content. I love it, man. There's no other guy like you, man. So I love the work you do. Keep it up, man. If y'all get a chance, I cover the whole NFL, not just the Miami Dolphins. So if you see like a random Detroit Lions episode, y'all, it still fins up. I just like covering the whole league. That's all it is. January through April, a lot of draft material, pretty much a mix of mock drafts and real live interviews with a lot of guys who are going to be in the draft. I have a lot of connections throughout the league, so I try to be a source, man. My goal eventually is to be the top place on the internet for pre-draft content, man. So hey, we made a big jump this year. It's a lot of fun, and the rest of the year is just original content, man. You know, I try not to do too many ripoffs from ESPN, but just original content, original thought-provoking stuff, man, from around the league. And then once the season starts, I do 2 to 4 live shows, man. So check me out on YouTube. It's a Touchdown with Doug Smith. Promise you won't be disappointed.
All right, and I'll put the link to his channel in the description. Go check my man out. Go check his channel out. Hit that subscribe button. Like all his videos. Share. You know the vibe, all right? You know the vibe. We are going to get up out of here. Trust there'll be more content to come with both of us. Might even do, if you're down, a recap of the draft. I'd love to do that. All right, so maybe we'll get that going if our schedules permit. But, hey, man, I appreciate rocking it out with you, man, doing this Dolphin preview, giving the people the knowledge, man. Go check out some of these draft prospects, get to know them before anybody else, all right? That's a flex. You be like, man, I already know some of what he's talking about in the press conference because I watched it on Doug's channel. All right, that's a big flex. All right, to be able to say, hey, man, I already know some about this guy because you never know. We might have a few on our team. All right, I'll holler at y'all in the next one. Y'all already know what it is. Fins up till we die. We out, man.
You know it.